Hey there gardeners, Chris here from Steading. I just wanted to show off my little native garden bed that we've put in here. This is just off our driveway. As you can probably see, we've got like a little poinciana here that may end up going, but we've also got a much bigger gum tree, and I think it's some kind of wattle above me. And what we wanted, or what we want to do more generally in the garden, is get more native plants in, and also more flowering native plants to obviously help the pollinators, the birds, everything like that. So here, when I got a soil delivery, I specifically bought some native soil, and part of the reason for that is because we put an arch in with Hardenbergias, which are an Australian vine, and I also knew because I'd have excess soil that I'd be able to kind of put some soil down here. We put some cardboard under it as well to try and suppress the weeds. I did some hand weeding as well, and then we planted some kind of tube stock that we had from Landcare up at Port Macquarie. So those are 100% local native plants. And then also we've just planted some more general native plants in the hopes that this area will end up being a nice little oasis of native plants. Obviously our veggie garden's just over there, and so if it can help bring in pollinators, that's a big plus, but also just creating some natural environment for the native plants and for the native creatures is important as well. We do have to be a little bit careful because snakes are a concern, and so that's why it's out here, because essentially I have seen red-bellied black snakes in this area, and they do kind of like having a bit of a sit in areas like this. They particularly, I will note, like sitting on your exposed new soil, no doubt, because when the soil is freshly put down, it's black or very, very dark, and they kind of can camouflage themselves on it. Once you got the wood chips on, they're easier to spot and they don't quite seem to like it as much, but keep that in mind. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because I've got a little bit of information on the various stuff we've planted, which I'll put up for you. So let's have a look at what we've got in seedlings. So like this here, acacia blackwood, and yeah, large tree, canopy 10 to 20 meters high, maybe not for this particular location. A blackwood is actually recommended as, I believe, a pioneer species. So they grow really, really fast. They can be a little invasive. However, the idea is that you plant them and you chop and drop them. So as they grow, you chop them down, allow all of the growth to then enrich the soil, and they're a great little addition to your garden like that. And we've got quite a few here by the looks of it, which is something that I asked for. Normally I'm busy on a Monday when the place to get these is open up in Port. Now, unfortunately, some of these things have been left here a little bit too long. That's a Hardenbergia. Not everything survived, but at the same time, it's one of those situations where the stuff that's not really hardy, it just doesn't survive, and we're not really watering things. These are non-natives that we've just bought for cheap. That's like a peppermint. Always have to be careful with peppermint, putting it in the ground. We've got another Hardenbergia here. And that's actually, by the looks of it, attached to a grevillea of some kind, which is quite good. We've got some callistemons, which these actually we bought at Bunnings, as they're called upstarts. They're like a quite cheap tube stock, and they shouldn't be, height to 2 meters. That's not too bad. We can probably chuck those in and see how they go. Again, another one, height to 3 meters, different variety. 2 meters, 4 meters, 3 meters. Okay, so these are a little bit larger. We'll probably chuck 1 or 2 in and see how we go. We've got another grevillea, semperflorens, and not so much information on these tube stock. We've got a couple of those, so that's all right. And then we've got Westringia, Jervis gem, so mauve. Oh, there's a little praying mantis there, which is always a good sign. We like to see them in the garden. Then another grevillea, Winpara gem. That one actually has flowers on it, so that's very impressive. And finally, Eutaxia obovata egg and bacon plant. I've actually heard of that. I think they have a nice little flower that looks like an egg and bacon. And then we've also got, I think is that a silky oak? I think it might be. Oh no. So this guy here had fallen over and gotten a bit wet, and that's a native Lasiandra. So we'll get that guy in as well and hope that he recovers, because he's obviously been sitting in the water and kind of drowned, and that is unfortunate. Growing natives is actually, or we've found, is a little bit of a challenge. Now for my parents who are over on an ex-dairy farm, the stuff grows there beautifully. They've got 2 meter tall kangaroo paws, all this kind of stuff. For us, with kind of more traditional Australian soil, which is to say poor, it's fairly sandy, very, very drainage, or very, very well drained because we're on a big hill, a lot of the natives just have not gone that well here. And so we're trying to start to build up some areas where they'll go a bit better. This is near the house, so I can water it, which is again quite important because it will make it a little easier to give these plants some support. And hopefully we can get this looking really, really good in the next year or two. But we'll see how we go. And obviously I will do an update on how we went here and what plants have succeeded, because yeah, it's a little bit hard to say. Even buying literal natives for the specific area we live in, sometimes they don't go that well, but we'll see how we go.